guys, and welcome back to my channel. Right, I am so sorry guys, I have not filmed an intro for you, nor did I film an outro of ending mod 2 video. So this is the mod 2 show me tell me video. My instructor has gone through the whole shebang, and then we went out riding into the area we're supposed to get our exams done. Now, halfway through riding, when we got there, my camera died, so I do apologize. However, I have done mod 2 the next day, the exam. But stay tuned to the end of the video. I know it's a long one, but stay tuned to see if I pass or not.
If you're in the right-hand lane, isn't that just a left lane change to get into the left-hand lane to come off? Yeah? So which shoulder are you going to check?
Your
left lifesaver check, left set. Right, and if you do a left lifesaver check and you see a car flying down here coming up, what are you going to do? Just go around the roundabout again? Yeah, if you do that left lifesaver check and there's something there and you can't get out, you've already got the right signal on. Don't put the left signal on, just go around the roundabout again. Come back here, do another one yet, safe, then put the left signal on and come off. Yeah?
So question, I'm just putting myself in a scenario here.
So
when you go in to turn to the third exit and you want to change lane to go to that third exit, so you're going back to lane 1, and over here you're already putting the right signal on.
No, you do an observation first.
Observation.
If it's safe and clear, then the signal goes on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's not safe and clear, you don't put that signal on. You go around again, and you come back to the same exit, and then you have another look.
Okay.
Don't forget this. Your signal does not give you a right to do anything. Your signal is not first. The observation always takes place before a signal. Why? Well, if you put that signal on and that car slows down, so you've just failed your test, didn't you?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to cause another vehicle to do. So when you do this check, a lot of people do it as a routine. They go like this and haven't even looked and are already putting the signal on. That's 100% wrong, and you're going to fail your test if you do that. When I do a check, I ask myself a question, and I get the answer before the signal goes on. Let me explain. Observation. Have I got following distance, front and back? Am I going to affect that vehicle? If the answer is yes, that signal does not go on. I might do some mirror checks, slow down a little bit and let it go. Count my following distance, 1,000, 2, 1,000. Yeah, I've got following distance. I'll redo the check and I'll ask that question again. Have I got following distance, front and back? Because you pull in front of this car and you haven't got following distance, that's an immediate fail. You pull behind that vehicle and you haven't got, that's an immediate fail. Any lane change, any lane merge, your examiner wants to see you can keep your following distance. You're not allowed to squeeze yourself in. Yeah? So you answer that question first before you put the signal on. Because if the answer's no, then put the signal on and then go in. If the answer's yeah, don't do it. Let it go. Count your following distance and redo it. Yeah, it's safe. Then move. Which is why I would say look down the road as far as you can see. Deal with hazards as soon as you see it. Don't wait to get up to it. There's bloody cars there. No, you can't get out. Yeah? But we'll talk about that. But yeah, observation always first. Don't put the signal on first. Which is why when I get here, when I do that left observation, if there was a car coming, I've still got the right signal on. So I'm still telling people I'm going around again. So that way you just go, oh, there's a car, don't worry about it, just go around again. And you haven't missignaled, you haven't put a signal on to affect him. Yeah? Observation first. Right, does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Right, let's go back to the orientation. Right, it's not a mini roundabout. It's a big roundabout. But there are only, sorry, I didn't do art in school. As you can tell, there are only 3 exits on it. Right, this is why you've got to look at the orientation of the roundabout. There are 2 lanes on approach to this roundabout. It's a really bad design, I'm sorry. All right, it's a big roundabout. Now he said to you, he wants you to take the second exit. Is that the left-hand lane or is that the right-hand lane? You tell me. 12 o'clock rule, young lady. Which lane would you be in to turn right, taking the first or the second exit? You're taking the second. You have to be in the right-hand lane. It's past 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
But normally, if 12 o'clock, if the second exit's here, well, that's the left-hand lane. So you need to look at the orientation of the roundabout. But again, they're not set in stone. So if you get it wrong and you are in that lane, and he says second exit, you are not going second exit, mate. You're taking the first. You cannot go past from that lane. Yeah. So does that make sense? So you've got to look at the orientation of the roundabout first, which is why I say don't panic, because they're not set in stone. They all are different. Yeah. If you get it wrong, go the wrong way. Don't panic. Just throw the signal on and go where the lane goes. And that way you haven't done anything wrong. And just tell him. And trust me, you'll learn brownie points. Right. Lane mark roundabouts. Lane mark roundabouts confuse people because there's quite a lot of lanes, and people don't know how to take them, and it drives us crazy. Right, so sometimes you can have 5, 4, 6, you can have mass, you can have loads, right? Where does this left-hand lane always go on a lane marked roundabout? On a lane marked roundabout, where does this left-hand lane always go?
Left.
It always goes left, right. So what you've got to understand is this. This lane has now gone. It's gone. What happens to this lane now? It becomes the left-hand lane. Every exit you go past, you lose a lane, so you have to move over one lane to the left. But here's the problem people have. When you come up to here, because we're going to do it in a second, you come up to here, you're going to have a sign here telling you how many lanes you've got, saying A40 for these 2 lanes, A1 for these 2, whatever. It's going to say the lanes.
Yes.
Now, sometimes you can have, just for example, A1 and A1. You've got 2 lanes on approach. And as you go onto the roundabout, this lane says A1 and this lane says A1. Right, then it doesn't matter which lane you choose because both lanes go your direction. Yeah? However, if you've got 2 lanes on the roundabout that say your direction, your exit, you're going to have 2 lanes coming off the roundabout. There is no reason to change lanes now. That's an unnecessary lane change.
Okay.
Yeah? So whichever lane you stick with it. And when you get to here, well, obviously it will move out. Keep looking. So from here, you'll normally have some traffic lights here after this exit, before this exit. So when this exit goes, because you're turning right, you'd have your right signal on, you'd be in the right-hand lane if you've chose the right-hand lane for A1. Yeah, when you get here, because this exit's gone, you keep your right signal because you're still turning right. But you would do a left lifesaver check, and now you would find out that this one and this one say A1, and now this one would say something like A5. Yeah, so you've moved here. When you get to here, that exit, that left-hand lane's gone. Again, it would be a left lifesaver check. And then you'd be in, when you get to this exit, there would be one lane here saying A1, and there would be a lane here saying A1. You will be in this lane. You should not have to come across lanes to come off your exit. If you are doing that, you've got it wrong. You haven't moved out as you've gone past. Yeah? Every exit you go past, you do a left lifesaver check and move over one lane.
Aha, okay.
Yeah? You'd see it. I'm going to point it out to you in a second when we go to Hanger Lane, because Hanger Lane is a lane mark.
I know this one.
Right. In
I hate
Uxbridge, there is one big roundabout.
I know that one.
And everybody panics about it. Guys, I'll give you all the tricks and all the tips. I'm going to take you there. People go, Jibs, it's got 6 exits on it. It's a big roundabout. It's scary. No, it's not. Let me explain. It has got 6 exits off of it. It has not got 6 exits.
Okay.
Let me explain. One of those exits is a multi-storey car park. Do you think he's taking you into a multi-storey car park on your test?
No.
No. The next exit after that has got a round circle with a picture of a bike on top of a car. What does that sign mean in the highway code? No motor vehicles, Jibs. Well, you ain't going down there unless you want to fail your test.
Yeah.
You're going to be on one of the exits. How many exits does that leave? 3.
Yeah.
It's a big roundabout, but it's only got 3 exits on it. And it is the best signpost roundabout in flipping England. It's got signposts all the way round it, both sides of the road. I'm bewildered how people mess it up. But I'm going to take you around it. I'm going to take you around it a couple of times.
So
Trust
where are we
me,
heading
it's very
off?
easy.
So,
As soon as we have our coffees and you guys are done with the questions,
Yeah.
we're out of here. We're getting
but
on the radio.
which areas are you going to be
We
taking
are
us?
heading to Uxbridge, and I'm going to run you. Yeah.
So
And
where are we going to do the test?
Uxbridge, I believe. That's where we're
Oh,
going.
thank God, I know Uxbridge. Because I thought when we went to freaking Ely, Enfield. Oh my God, I was panicking.
Well, to be honest, if you know what you're doing and you know how to read the road ahead, it shouldn't matter what test center you go to.
Okay. Because that one really panicked
Yeah,
me.
it shouldn't. As an
Yeah.
examiner, I've got to run you through a number of things. So you understand, your examiner's going to ask you to see you pull away from the side of the road at least twice and park up safe and legal twice. Yeah, so he knows you know where to park safely and you know how to pull away safely. Right. How they catch you out, or catch some people out with that, is the way they ask you normally is, Donna, I'd like you to find somewhere safe and legal to park on the left-hand side. It doesn't matter if you go down the road half a mile to find somewhere safe and legal.
Yeah.
But what you can't do, this is what people fail for on parking up.
Double
It's
yellow
a 30
line.
mile an hour road. He says, go and find somewhere safe and legal to park. And everyone slows down to friggin' 5 mile an hour. Leaking up. Mate, if you looked in your mirrors, who's behind you?
Cars.
No, it's the examiner. Who's behind the examiner? The
Car.
rest of Uxbridge going, mate, it's a 30 mile an hour road. What's going on? And you're there at 5 miles an hour, yeah, obviously he's going to fail. You can't slow down. You shouldn't be looking here to park. You should be looking down there at 30 miles an hour. When you found somewhere, observation, signal and park up. Right, make sure there's no turn-ins before you put that signal on, because that's another thing people fail for when they're parking.
Junctions.
They put the signal on, go past the junction and then park up, and he's failed them.
Oh.
Yeah, of course, you can't go past the junction with your signal on. That's a
Okay, go past the junction. I was gonna say but
yeah,
you have to go in the junction anyway.
Turning,
Yeah.
and then park up after it.
But what if the situation happens? I'm just saying, out of curiosity.
Turn into it.
Turn into it.
If you do it, turn into it, and then you haven't done anything wrong. You say, look, I was parking up and I realised I put my signal on before the junction. Turn into it.
Okay.
And he'll say, well done. Bloody quick thinking, well done.
Yeah.
Right. They'll ask you to find somewhere safe and legal. Right, so we're looking for a straight bit of road, not opposite an island where we cause congestion, not opposite a parked car, not before or after a bend. When you do this, you want a nice view of the road to see it's safe to pull away. Obviously, if there's a bend, you haven't got much time now, yeah?
What are the lines, yellow lines?
Single yellow line, perfectly fine. Double yellow line, no. Zigzags, no. Don't park anywhere near yellow zigzags or white zigzags. Stay away from it. Right, double yellow lines. Leave them alone. No lines, happy days. Parking bay, can't beat a parking bay.
Single line in front of you.
Single line, you're allowed, no problem on your test. Right. Also, if there's no lines, it's perfectly. Does everyone know what I mean when I say a dropped curb? Somebody's driveway, but not in front of one of those. Get a raised bit of curb.
Yeah.
Some people, I shouldn't have to say this, but you can't park in the entrance of a road on the left. You can't park in an entrance of an estate. But you'll be surprised how many people do this. You have to park somewhere safe and legal on the road, yeah? As I said, it doesn't mind if you go down the road. It doesn't matter if you go past somewhere you could have parked. Don't worry about it. Go find somewhere else.
So now the next question is, when we park, do we have to park the way we park our bike, or can we just stop on the side like that when you say stop?
No, you have to do your observation, signal and pull in, and your left foot must be able to touch the pavement. If your left foot can't touch the pavement, you're not parked, you're still in the road.
Okay.
Okay, but as long as you're parked up, it'll say, all right, no problem. The other way they tell you to park up, I'm going to tell you this so it doesn't catch you out. There's something called an incline start. If he gets an opportunity to check it, he might do. Now, the way he's going to ask you to do this is different. He might say to you, Donna, I want you to park on those double yellow lines for me behind that van for me, please. If he gives you an order to park on double yellow lines, he can't fail you for it. Obey his order. There's a reason he's doing it.
Can I say that again?
If he says to you, Donna, I would like you to park on those double yellow lines behind that van for me, please.
But you're not allowed to.
No, he's giving you an order. That's why I'm explaining this to you. If he gives you an order to park there, obey his order. He can't tell you to park there and then fail you for it. He can't do that. He knows if you think about a van in front of us right now, and you're over here by the curb, can you see it's safe to pull around that van?
No.
Right, so an incline start is what we're looking at here. Or the van's behind you, will say park in front of it. He knows you can't see behind to pull away. So obviously he'll say, right, when you're ready then, Donna, when you pull away from the side of the road, we'll follow the road ahead at the traffic lights, we'll turn left. And that's all you're going to get. But obviously if you go into gears, go in safety position from here and start doing your checks, and you just pull around that, he'll fail you straight away. You can't see it safe. Incline start means this. When he says to pull away, into first gear and put both feet down. You're not going anywhere. Just turn your handlebars to the right and walk it to the edge of the van. Put your head over the bars to show, all you're doing right now is showing them, I can see. Yeah, I can see. If you pull away right now with your bars like this, you're going to go right across the road and up the pavement. Don't forget to angle your bars to position number 3. Yeah? Right, now safety position. And then have another check. Yeah, safe. Yeah. All right, now I'll put my signal on and then I'll pull away. He's just making sure you're not going to pull away from the side of the curb and go around something without checking properly. Right, I like to deal with reality. Double yellow lines are there to tell people not to park, especially at the end of junctions when we're coming out of minor roads onto a major road. That's why they go around it, so that people can see when they're coming out. But you know as well as I do, on your test you're going to have some pillar that's parked right on the corner of the junction and you can't see it's safe to pull out. If this happens on your test, you stop at the giveaway light, and then you keep both feet down and walk it over. Stop correctly, but then because you can't see, you put both feet down, walk it over the giveaway line, show them you can see, like safety position, show them you can see, and then pull out. Yeah? Does that make sense? One-way road. What's the reason you're going down a one-way road on your test?
You're going one way.
Why is your examiner taking you down a one-way road on your test? So as I said, your examiner's going to run you through a couple of things. Pulling away and stopping. National speed limit is something he has to check. You're either going to go down 60 or 70 mile an hour road. Obviously minors and majors, left and right turns, roundabouts, minis, standard for and a lane marked if you can find it. Yeah? These are the things he's going to run you through. Right, let's start.
Always left side, yeah?
Yeah, always in the left-hand lane unless you're overtaking or it's directional purposes, yeah? So we'll talk about the overtaking bit in a minute. Right, a one-way road and a one-way circuit is also something he's going to take you down if he gets an opportunity. A one-way road. The only reason you're going down a one-way road is he wants to turn you right at the top of it. Remember, this is no entry, yeah, this side,
okay.
right? So there is no incoming traffic. The left-hand lane is for turning left. The right-hand lane is for turning right. The only reason you're going down a one-way road is he's going to turn you right, and you should be right over here in position 3, yeah? On the what would normally be the wrong side of the road. If you stop
But there's
here,
no lanes?
There's 2 lanes. There's a white line. The left-hand side of the road is for turning left. So you should be
But he will,
right
but he
over
will
here.
tell us beforehand to turn right, right?
Yeah, he'll tell you at the end of the road, could you turn right, please? But he won't tell you it's a one-way road. You need to know that.
Okay.
Yeah, and obviously make sure you're right over on the incoming side, right over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much the things you're going to run through today.
Okay.
Have you got any questions about me about anything? Right, if you guys are finishing your radios, I'm going to get you kicked out of the radio.
Can we talk back to the radio this time or no?
No, you can't talk to me. I'm going to give you the radio breaks. Don't you worry. Right, so he's going to ask you 3 questions about the bike. First thing first, what's the golden answer if you don't know the answer that can never be wrong?
It's not my bike.
That's not the golden answer. Right, the golden answer, if you don't, some of them are multiple choice questions, or some of them you'll know it because I'm going to go through it. But if you can't remember it, don't panic. There's a golden answer that he says, if you say this, as long as you say this, he goes correct, and he's got a ticket, perfect.
Okay.
So the golden answer is, I shall refer to the owner's manual, Mr. Examiner. That's the golden answer, because you're not going to know everything.
Yeah.
As long as you show me you know where to find that information.
Okay.
Happy days. Some bikes are liquid cooled, some are air cooled. So if you don't know where the coolant is, what would you do?
Find the manual.
Owner's manual will tell you everything to adjust for a passenger. Owner's manual will tell you your tyre pressures, things to check on your tyre, the legal tread bet. It will tell you everything. Somebody said to me you can use Google as well, but I'll go with the owner's manual. Yes. Our owner's manual, all Google.
But like, if he tells me to check the tire and I don't know what the tire pressure is.
No, he won't ask you what your tyre pressure is specifically for this bike. He'll ask you the questions I'm going to ask you in a second. But my point is this. This is the only time you have a little bit of control over how much time you have left on the road.
Okay.
Right. He's checked your paperwork, given you an eyesight test, gone through radio procedures. We're down to about 40 minutes, aren't we?
Yeah.
Right. If I said to you, this is one of the questions, there are 3 things that you would check on a motorcycle tyre. What are they?
Tire treads. Hot or cold? Or it's
the
cold.
tyre's hot or cold?
It's cold.
Normally when you get on the bike in the morning, it's always going to be cold.
Yeah.
Huh?
1.6.
So tyre tread? Go on, tell me it.
1.6.
That's on the car?
Car,
What's the legal limit? 1 millimetre.
Yeah.
What?
1 millimetre.
1 millimeter.
Legal tread bet. Where? In the middle? On the side?
Sides.
No, in the middle.
In the middle? Just in the middle? On the side, don't need it.
Everywhere but
No.
in the middle.
On the sides.
On the sides. You can go on the sides, he's in the middle, we'll talk about this. Right, so you know it's 1 millimetre tread depth?
Okay.
Yeah, everywhere. So 1 millimetre tread depth, 3/4 across the tyre all the way around is the actual answer.
Wait, say that again.
1 millimetre tread, 3/4 across the tyre all the way around. That's your legal tread depth.
Okay.
So that's a legal requirement. Alright? Does anyone know what a TWI is?
No.
Okay, all right, I'm going to go through this properly with you. But my point I'm saying is this. Most people, when he answers this question, they go, this is the correct answers. Tread depth, tyre pressure, and condition of the tyre. Those are the 3 things you're going to check. But most people just give him those one-word answers. They don't even tell him the legal limit. And those aren't the answers that he's going to go correct.
What is the one-word answer?
Huh?
What's the one-word answer?
Well, what's wrong with a one-word answer?
No, what is it? Is it just like owner's manual?
No, that's the golden answer that can never be wrong if you don't know the answer.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is you give him one-word answers like tread depth, tyre pressure, condition of the tyre. You're on to the next question. You've still got 40 minutes on the road.
Okay.
Whereas if I'm you and I'm on test tomorrow And he says to me, "What would you check on a tyre?" I say, "Come here, Mr. Examiner, I'll show you." I say, "If you look on the tyre, come and have a look at this. Come and have a look at this. Can you see that raised rubber mark in the middle of the tyre? Can you see that little lump? It's called a TWI. It's a tyre wear indicator, set at your legal limit, which is 1 millimetre, 3/4 across that tyre all the way round. Why do we have these patterns? What do they do?
They tell us how the wear of the bike, the wear of the wheels. Sorry.
Well, after TWI does that, but what are the patterns for? Why do we have these patterns and lines on the tyres?
Grip.
Grip.
And that's what I'm thinking
Right, so
of.
on a racetrack, have you ever seen the race tyres? I've got none of these.
Oh
They're
no!
called slicks.
Yeah.
I go around the corner with my elbows. I'm down here. I've got more grip than you, so it's not for grip.
Okay.
Do you know what it's for? Why have we got the pattern? This is what displaces water in the wet. It moves the water out of the way so the tyre remains in contact with the tarmac.
Okay.
What country do we currently reside in? What's the weather like? Would you let your tyre get down to 1 millimetre coming up to autumn in winter and rain? So not only are you telling him you know the legal tread depth, 1 millimetre across the tyre, 3/4 all the way round, you're telling him you know what it's for.
Okay.
Now he's thinking, sensible girl. She knows her legal limit. She knows what the tread depth and the tread pattern's for. Tyre pressure. Where are you going to find that information? Sometimes on the side of the tyre, sometimes there's a sticker on the bike, but where are you always going to find it? In your owner's manual. What happens if the tyre pressure's wrong?
Then you go to the gas station and get the tire pressure to get it correct.
But what happens? How does it affect the bike?
It puts it off, doesn't it? Like.
So it's going to affect your handling and your braking,
Yeah.
fuel consumption and your tyre wear.
Yeah.
Fuel consumption and tyre wear, handling and braking is kind of important.
Yeah.
So every day I give my tyres a kick before I ride, I make sure they're inflated. But once a week I get a proper tyre pressure pump and a proper tyre pressure gauge. Don't trust the ones in the petrol station, they are so inaccurate.
Oh, really?
And check your tyre pressures according to your owner's manual, especially in ambient temperature changes. Okay, the condition of the tyre. I'm going to check the side wall of the tyre for any rips, any tears, any cracks or any bulges. If there's any nails or screws, if you do find a nail or a screw and the tyre still has pressure, push the nail in, lay it down into the tread pattern or screw the screw in. Ride immediately, slowly and carefully to your tyre repair centre and get that repaired. They'll only ever do 2 tyre punches on a bike tyre, they won't do a third. And if the first 2 are close together, you're shit out of luck, you need a new tyre. No one cares on the car, you've got 3 of them wheels. When you get a blowout, you're going to fall over. You get a blowout on any one of those tyres, the chances are you might come off the bike and sustain other injuries. So you're telling him, how long have I taken to answer that one question?
That took about like.
How long have you got left on the road? Do you see where I'm going?
Yeah.
It's like, what's clever? Don't rush your questions. This is the only time you've got where you have a little bit of control over how much time you get on the road. Open a book on him. Give him a Jackanory. One, it's going to make him feel confident that you understand the legal requirements for the bike and that you're knowledgeable about it. Obviously, he wants to know that you know what you're doing and you know how to maintain and keep your bike safe. So that's going to give him confidence in you straight from the get-go. Some people, just so you understand this, you're allowed 10 minors, the 11th would be a fail on your module 2. If he said to you, what's this red button for? You went, I don't know. He said, what would you check on a bike tire? You went, I don't know. He said, what would you tell a passenger? You went, I don't know. He says, come on then on the bike, let's go. And you get 3 minor marks before you go on the road. Yeah? So that's what happens if you don't know the questions, yeah? Now you know the golden answer, that's not going to happen, is it? Yeah? So you don't need to worry, you're not going to get them wrong because you know the golden answer anyway. So
That's not my bike, is not the golden answer then.
No, that won't watch you. But I like it though. It's not that I like. Hello. Come on in, I'm right. So don't panic if you say it. It's not the end of the world.
Okay.
Obviously, you don't want to get minus for no reason.
Okay, for sure he's going to ask about tires or...
No, there are 20 questions.
Oh, shit.
Which is why I told you to watch. But don't worry, we go through them. We're going to get you to watch it tonight. So don't panic. Like I said, you know the golden answer anyway, so you're not going to get them wrong. Now you know the 3 things you would check on a motorcycle tyre. So I'm not going to go through it long again. Tyre pressure. Yeah, according to the owner's manual. 1 millimetre, 3/4 across the tyre all the way around, and the condition of the tyre. Right, what about your chain and sprocket? What should you do to keep that maintained? I'll tell you the answers if you don't know. Check it for?
How strong is?
You're not wrong, the tension. Sometimes, so when the chain wears, it's going to start slacking and becoming loose, and you need to adjust it. And pull. You've got adjusters at the back, you pull your wheel back a bit, and it tightens up the chain. But there's a correct tension. There's a correct bit of play that should be there. Where are you going to find that information?
In the manual.
In the manual, all right. So Before we do the tension, we're going to inspect it for any rust and damage. You have to clean it and keep it lubricated to keep it maintained. But then you're also going to correct for the correct tension, and you find that in the owner's manual. So chain and sprocket, inspect it for any rust or any damage, clean it, lubricate it, and make sure we've got the correct tension according to the owner's manual. Okay, what is this red button for?
That one just cuts off immediately.
What, which one?
The
Both
red
of them?
button, yeah.
But both, we're going to take it cuts off, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's
Oh.
true.
Sorry?
Oh,
Which one cuts the power?
Right.
Right, let's go over here.
Huh?
Come on. I like to make sure you guys fully understand what you're doing and why I do certain things. So here's the ignition. Here's the starter button. Hit the kill switch for me.
Kill switch.
Come over here. Have a look at your light. Tell me what's going on.
Power still on.
All right, so if you had an accident at night time, when you hit the kill switch, your lights are still on, so you're visible in the road. It's not going to turn your lights off, so you're still there. But also, what's this noise? Have a little listen here. If I do that, what's that?
It restarts?
What's his name? Petrol.
Pump.
Pump.
Ah, the petrol pump. So this cuts off the fuel. So if you had an accident in the event of a fire, it shuts off your fuel tap, right? So that's the difference. This will leave the electrics on but shut off the fuel, whereas the key turns off everything.
Okay.
Right. I'm not getting you guys to try and be mechanics just so you don't mess up your bikes and it costs you money. Do not use this. What happens to a carburetor or injectors if you starve them of petrol?
Just
They
kill
clog
them.
up and start rusting. And how much is an injector and a coil pack? I don't know if I'm
Like
not trying to...
1,000 something.
It will cost
more.
you about, mate. So there's
Yeah.
not on most engines, and if it's got 4 cylinders, don't want to get technical, but it's got 4
No,
injectors
yeah.
and 4 coil packs.
Yeah.
The injectors are about £280 plus VAT each. The coil packs are about 50, mate. It'll cost you over £1,000. Do
Yeah.
not use this unless it's.
I know
emergency.
that because we blew up one of the bikes.
It'll cost you loads of money and damage your engine. A lot
Yeah.
of people do it, and you're like, don't do that.
Oh no, it happened before.
All right.
Not to me though.
All right, so what else have we? Oh, you might as well stay here because you're trying to tell me. Right, so chain and sprocket, tyres. Right, fluid levels. Right now, if you try to check any fluid levels with this thing on the side stand, would it give you an accurate reading?
No.
Come over here, let's have a look. Have a look at your oil. Can you see anything in that window? It looks like we've run out.
No, we need to take.
Ah, okay, so what happens, so when I do this, have a look at that window now. And
Where
then
am I
all of a
looking
sudden,
at?
ta-da!
Where am I looking
Right,
at?
sorry, with the oil sight glass, you've got 2 lines between the tolerances where the oil should be, yeah?
Yeah.
But if you keep looking at it there, watch what happens when I put it on the side stand. So right now you can see the oil lines right up there where
Yeah.
it should be. As soon as I do this on the side, see it drop? So, would the bike give you an accurate reading on a side stand?
No.
You only have to tell him, don't do it, but just tell him the bike's got to be in level flat ground in an upright position to check any fluid levels.
Okay.
Otherwise it will give you a wrong reading. Right, front and back brake reservoir levels. Where's your front brake reservoir level and how would you check it?
They're normally up on here, no?
Yeah? There.
Yeah, that one.
So come around to the front just so you can see it. It's got a sight glass. Yeah? And it says lower limit and it's got a line. Obviously make sure your fluid level, you normally get a bubble at the top just like that. Make sure your limit doesn't go below that line. Just again, I won't ask you this for your own knowledge. Why does that fluid level drop? Why? 2 reasons it drops. 1, you have a leak. That's serious. That's brake fluid. If brake fluid leaks from here, that could go onto your disc. What happens if you try and use
Slips.
the brakes when you've got brake fluid on your disc?
Slips.
Nothing. They don't work. What happens if the brake fluid goes down onto your tyre and you try and turn around the corner? Right,
Yeah.
so if you check that in the morning and all of a sudden it's empty, don't ride the bike. Come and check your fluid levels, yeah? Check your lines, yeah? Right. If as the level slowly starts dropping, as your brake pads wear down, the level starts dropping. So if that level starts getting low, check your brake pads. They might be running low. It only runs draw low for 2 reasons. You've got a leak, or your brake pads, as they wear down, the fluid level drops. So that's an indication of how much brake pads you've got left. Yeah? Did you know that?
No.
I know, I give you all the information. Trust me, guys. Right. If you ask you to check brakes, steering, or suspension, always get on the bike. Don't try and do this like this, because you're nervous. It's the start of your test. It's normal. If you drop that bike that way, don't even go out on test. It's a fail straight away. I know, it happens. So just because people are nervous, always get on the bike for this anyway. If he says check the brakes, just hold the front brake. Rock it back and forward like that. Yeah, it's working, it's not going anywhere, but release it because sometimes the pistons stick and it doesn't fully unlock.
Yeah.
So always release it and make sure it rolls. Back brake. Yeah, that's working, and it rolls. All right, steering.
This is part of the task.
This is part of the test. This is one of the
Okay.
questions. Brakes, steering or suspension,
Okay.
get on the bike. Right, so that's brakes. Steering, full lock left, full lock right. I've got no snagging or interference from any cables. In here are bearings. They are steering bearings. When they wear, when they get bad, it starts kind of, instead of doing smooth, fluid movement, it starts doing this rocking thing where it kind of stops, starts, stops, starts. It's notchy. If that happens, your bearings need changing.
Okay.
When you buy a bike, if you buy a bike second hand, if you do this, and as you turn, it gets a bit stiff in the middle. That's the first telltale sign that bike's been in a front accident. Don't buy it until you check the stanchions properly. Yeah? Right. The other thing, suspension. Right. This is a job that a lot of people will, especially if you're buying a second hand bike, guys, check your suspension. I cannot stress this to you. Hold your front brake, rock it back and forward like this, and then you have to get off the bike. And you have to come to the front. Inside these tubes are springs and fork oil. These two little rubber things here are just covers, but underneath this there's rubber seals that hold the oil inside. Rub your hands up and down these bars. If you see little dots of oil, that means the front fork seals are going. Right, guys, I'm going to tell you now. The seals, you can get them for £6.50.
Okay.
Do you know how much it's going to cost you to change them? The whole front of the bike has to come off. Mates rates, you're looking at about £500. Yeah, plus. That's mates rates. The whole front is a horrible job. Yeah, your parts don't cost nothing. It's the labour. Yeah. All I will say to you is this: a lot of people now, when their fork seals go, they just do this. They get a cloth and wipe them. They take the covers off. They get some tissue and they fold it up and they push it down on top of the seal and put the cover back on and sell the fucking bike. Check your fork seals. It's happened to a lot of my friends that have bought second-hand bikes recently. The fork seals are all gone and they put tissue around them and they didn't check them. Yeah, because it's an expensive job. So when they go, they just sell the bike. And say, just go and take it for an MOT quickly before they go too bad. Yeah, get the MOT, fresh MOT, stick tissue in it, sell the bike, it's got a year's MOT. It's horrible, but there's dodgy people out there. Check your front fork seals if you buy a second-hand bike. It's an expensive job, don't get caught out. For the back one, it's protected by a spring. So you can see the spring here. So what you can do, just get a bit of tissue, fold it in half. And you're not doing it here, that's not the... If you kind of come here, sorry, so you see this, guys, I like to teach people properly. Can you see the actual bar I'm touching here?
Yes.
Yeah, so you see the silver tube. That's the bit you've got to touch with the tissue. And just make sure, again, in here is the oil. Just make sure there's no oil seeping down on here. And that's your rear shock.
Okay.
So steering, suspension, brakes, get on the bike. Don't try and do it from the side. Yeah.
Okay.
So we know tyres, we know chain and sprocket, we know brake, steering and suspension, we know fluid levels, and we know the kill switch.
Yes.
Right, happy days. If he says to you, show me how you check the operation of your horn. Show me how you check the horn, Donna. How would you check the horn?
Turn it on.
Go on then.
Should I get on the bike now?
No, you don't know how to do the horn, you don't need to. That's the start button.
Oh wait,
Outside.
that's.
He won't mind, he really is obviously. So, right.
It's not my
While you're
bike.
there, it's not my bike. Yeah, because they change over. Yeah, the horn's sometimes on the right. I don't know any bike, the horn's on the right. But anyway, right. Show me how you check the indicators.
Check the indicators.
So you're making sure you get indication on the dashboard, and you've checked the front one, but what one haven't you checked? The back one.
Oh.
No, don't you touch those hazards. Did you touch the hazards?
I did.
Right. Understand this. They're two different electrical circuits.
Yeah.
So by checking this one to do your indicators, have you actually checked it? No.
No.
Yeah, you always check the actual circuit.
Yeah.
So indicators, he's looking, go left or right, dashboard indication, front indicator, back indicator. It cancels. Yep, over to the left. Dashboard indicator, front indicator, back indicator, it cancels. Right. How would you check your high beam?
This one.
How did you know it worked?
Because.
Hold your hand there. Hold your hand there so you can see the flash.
Uh-huh.
Right, the button that no one ever checks. Pass button.
What's
The
that?
one you should be using when you're filtering through traffic that no one ever
yes,
does.
no one
and then
does
they wonder
that.
why people change lanes in front of them. Or they just start revving their engines at people, which is very stupid because cars are very well insulated. He's not going to hear you if he's got the stereo on and if you're 3 cars back. If you use this, doesn't that go down the road in all those drivers and passenger mirrors and catch their attention? Who do you think's coming behind you when you see flashing lights in your mirror?
Bikes.
Bikes? Who's the first thing you think it is?
Popos.
Popo, police emergency services.
Yeah.
And then you look, and then you go, oh, there's a bike. Now we don't change lanes in front of you. Only if people used it when they were filtering. Right. I know.
Next question.
Go on.
What if I don't want to filter?
On test, don't filter.
Okay.
You don't filter.
But what if he tells me to filter?
He won't. I'll explain that in a second.
Okay.
Right. How would you check your brake lights, young lady?
Sorry?
How would you check your brake light?
Get on the bike.
How are you going to see it from getting on the bike? Got to come round to the right hand side.
But you said never.
Yeah. Hold your hand there
Okay.
so you can see it's working.
Yeah.
But you've checked the front. You must check the back. Both
Yeah.
levers must activate the brake light. So hold your hand there so you can see the reflection. Yeah. Happy with that?
Yes.
All right. So that's your electrics. Right. Passengers. What would you adjust if you were going to carry a passenger? There's 5 things.
We need to check your tire pressure for
That's
sure.
one. Where are you going to find the information?
Manual.
Top girl. Love it. Love it.
And then
Suspension.
yeah.
Owner's manual. Oh yeah. Another 3 things we've got to change. What's the legal requirement for a passenger? What have they legally got to be able to do?
They need to be like more than 16, over 16.
There's no age limit for a passenger.
Oh, really?
No.
I thought there
And
was.
My son's been on the back of my bike since he was 4
See, I
years
thought
old.
I was so confused. Okay, I thought that was the most
My son, I
important.
used to take him on the back since
They
he was
need to be
both of them.
touching the.
Thank you.
Okay.
The legal requirement for a passenger is their feet must be
touch.
able to touch the rear
Oh,
foot pegs.
it's-
And you're going to need to put them down.
Yeah.
All right, so there's number 3. I gave you that one. And also it's the legal requirement. It will put him in good stead. Whose responsibility as a driver to make sure all your passengers got their seatbelt on? Do the passengers get in trouble when the police pull you over?
No, it's the
Who gets
driver.
the fine?
Driver.
Both of you do.
Oh.
The passenger gets the fine, but the driver gets the fine. As the driver of the vehicle, mate, you are responsible for your passengers and their safety. Same thing with the bike. He wants to know you understand the legal requirements and you're responsible for your passengers. So tell him it's a legal requirement. They must be able to put their feet securely on the foot pegs, and obviously I'll adjust those as well and put them down. So we've got 2 more things. All right, if
One
he's
of
a
those
heavy,
is-
yeah, go on.
Light. Adjust
Headlight?
the- Yeah. But
And-
how can we do that? How can we
Right,
adjust
no
that?
problem. Any questions? Far away, guys. See these two screws here?
Yeah.
You just undo them. Don't take them out. You just loosen them off, and you can move the headlight up and down. So you
Oh,
can make
okay.
sure. Obviously, if your husband or your boyfriend's big or your missus is big, obviously when they sit on the back, it's going to go up a little bit. You're now spotting planes with the headlight. Yeah. And if you look in your mirrors, you're looking down on the ground. So you have to adjust your mirrors. I always do it from the front, just so I can, on the top of the back, mirrors, headlight, suspension, tyre pressure, rear foot pegs. Those are the 5 answers. If you can't remember any, don't panic. Just say, I know there's another 2. I'm looking at owner's manual. And he goes, correct.
For example, the first, the suspension. Yeah. How can we adjust?
Right, so on some bikes, can you see these lines here?
Yeah.
And on this one, it doesn't say it, which it should, but it will tell you in the manual. If you turn it right, it goes harder. Turn it left, it goes softer.
Okay,
And then these ones aren't adjustable, but on my bike and the HP4, do you understand if I say rebound and compression? All right, so there's different ways.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
2 ways the suspension works. One is the softness of the tube and the hardness of the tube, and the other is what we call a rebound compression, and that you normally adjust from down here on the top of the bottom of the fork. So you can adjust them on some bikes. On most bikes you can. Some bikes they're electronically adjusted now. Read your owner's manual. Yeah. But normally when you buy your bike, most people won't even ever touch their suspension, which is
Okay.
really strange because you should set your suspension up for yourself
Okay.
and know your bike. Yeah. So we know what we're going to adjust. How would carrying the extra weight of a passenger affect the handling of the vehicle, and when? And what can we do as riders to counteract that and keep ourselves safe? So I'll give you the first one. With the extra weight of a passenger, what's going to happen to your braking distance? It's going to increase. So how do we make ourselves safer when we're carrying a passenger? What do we do? Because our braking distance is going to increase. How can we counteract that and make ourselves safe?
Give more time and space when you're traveling, when there's a car in front of you.
So increase your following distance. So if it's a dry day, we normally keep a 2-second rule in the dry, 4 seconds in the wet. So if it's a dry day I'm carrying a passenger, I'll take a 4-second rule. It's going to take me longer to stop. Give myself the time and space to do it. Happy days.
When you say 4 seconds, like 1 car length, isn't it?
No, 1 car length.
Like what?
4 seconds.
No, it's not.
No, all right. sis. We'll talk about following distance in a minute.
Yeah, because that's
fail their
yeah,
test.
that's
And I'll
what we
tell
were
you
doing
as an
last time.
instructor,
Yeah.
that's the most important thing on a motorcycle. Do not break your following distance. All I'm going to say to you, young lady, is this. How many tyres has every other vehicle got on the road?
4.
Or more. Don't forget there's double wheelbases,
yes.
are to right. So how much of their tyre touches the tarmac? Have a look.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
Your tyre. Let's have a look at it. How much of your tyre touches the tarmac?
Just
An
2.
inch and a half, front and back. He's got 4 bits of rubber all the way across. He puts the brakes on, you put the brakes on. Who stops first?
He does.
Can you even touch your front brake if you're going around a bend like that? Nah, you got to put the bike up right first, girl. So you can never stop as quickly as the vehicle in front of you. And if you haven't got the correct following distance, what happens next?
You crash.
Whose fault is the accident? Yours. You didn't keep the correct following distance. Yeah? Who's the one that ends up on the floor in an hospital? Not the car driver. They never fall out the window. I've never seen it happen yet. Well, actually, it does happen if they don't wear a seatbelt. But my point is, it's normally the bike rider that goes rolling down the road, yeah? Guys, it's the most important thing. Keep the following distance on the bike, always. That's give yourself the time and space to stop. Anything can happen out there. And when it does, people say speed is the... No, it isn't. Speed is not the biggest reason for an accident. Everybody will tell you in the profession, the biggest reason for all accidents in the whole world is incorrect following distance. Doesn't matter how fast you're going. As long as you've given yourself the time and space to stop between you and the vehicle in front, if he throws the brakes on, it's not a problem. It's when you haven't. That's the problem. Right, only if everyone did that. Right, anyway, so right, braking distance is going to increase, we increase our following distance. What other 2 ways are going to be affected? Let's go to the opposite of braking. What's the opposite of braking? Acceleration.
Yeah.
What about junctions and roundabouts? You're not going to have the acceleration you normally have. You're going to pull away quite slowly if it's a big person and a small engine bike.
Yeah.
So what can we do at junctions and roundabouts so we don't pull in front of the lorry and go, oh my God, I can't speed up?
Stay in the back
Stay in the back.
of the lorry so you don't like overtake.
But how are you going to get out of the roundabout, out of the junction? What can we do in that situation when we're at the line and we're thinking, okay, I've got to pull away now and I haven't got that acceleration I normally have. What can I do to make myself safer here? Wait for bigger gaps. Don't pull out in front of nothing, man. You ain't got. Wait for bigger gaps. Don't go, yeah, like it's just you and there. It don't work. All right, imagine onto from a slip road onto a carriageway or a motorway. Obviously, the slip road's supposed to be, some people don't friggin' know this, to get yourself up to speed to join the carriageway. It's a lot easier to join the carriageway when you're doing 70 or 60. You come down that flipping slip road at 30, 40, and go into the left-hand lane with 70-mile-an-hour vehicles coming down behind you. What do you think's going to happen? Do you think they're going to have to brake?
Yeah.
Of course they are. Right, on your test, your car test, any driving test in the UK, you cause another vehicle's brake lights to go on. It adjusts its speed or road do fail immediately. You're not allowed to interfere with other vehicles. Get yourself up to speed. When you join the carriageway, he's not going to catch up with you. All right? But how can we get ourselves up to speed if we're carrying a passenger? What can we do to get ourselves up to speed a little bit better on the carriageway because we know we're carrying a passenger? Stretch the rev range of the gear. Don't change gear early. Use the full rev range. Yeah, all the way, then change, all the way, then change. And, when I say all the way, not up to the red line, just before the red line, don't go into the red line. Yeah. I'll just push the passenger off. Get off, I need to get up to speed here. I love it, I love it, I love it. That's quality. Just push them off.
Yeah.
Say that to him. Yeah, what do you do? Get yourself up to speed as you come down, I'll just push them off. I've never heard that one before.
That was good.
I say it to him. They're good guys and have a bit of banter with them.
Okay.
They'll break the ice as well.
Okay.
And help you realise these are nice guys. They're not bad people. All right, so we know about breaking
But when they
distance.
give you a serious look, then you're like, oh.
Nah, don't worry about looks, honestly. All right, so we know about braking distance, we know about acceleration. What about slow speed control? What's going to happen at your junctions, mini roundabouts? You're going to have more weight. You're going to be more top heavy. What can we do at junctions and roundabouts to get more control so we don't overshoot turns?
Is it rear brake?
Definitely, that's one of them. But think about this. If I'm going down a slightly downhill and I've got more weight, the chance of me overshooting turns because of the momentum of the extra weight is greater. What can I do to stop the momentum? How do I stop that momentum coming downhill? Slow down, Jibs. Go extra slow. Slow down a lot better and you'll take away the momentum so you don't run wide. So the number one thing is slow it down a little bit more. Take your junction slowly. Right? When you go slowly, do we lean with the bike when you go slowly, or do you not lean with the bike when you go slowly? How do we turn when we're going slow?
Counter steering.
Counter steer, counterbalance. Yeah, you can't lean with the bike when you're going slow. You get top heavy. With a passenger, I mean, it's more weight. So we're going to counter steer, counterbalance, and if you do start running wide, drag your back brake a little bit. It will tighten up the turn. So the answers are slow down, counter steer, counterbalance, use your rear brake, and it'll give you more control on your tight turns, your tight junctions. So those are the answers. So you know what you're going to adjust. You know how it's going to affect the handling of the vehicle, you know how to counteract it. Now if this guy came running through that door and said, Donna, take me on the back of your bike, I've never been on a bike before, what are you going to tell him?
No.
I like that. No. If he said no, if you had to take him for some reason, what would you tell him?
Lean with me.
Oh God. That's going to go well, isn't it? Don't tell him that. Do you always lean with the bike? What happens if you go out on a sunny day, right? So imagine I was your passenger and you just said to me, lean with the bike, Jibs. That's the bit of advice I've been given. Yeah? So it's a dry day, you're leaning, I'm leaning. If we're in the United Kingdom, typically the clouds come and it starts raining. And then we go turn left over one of those drain covers and I go like this. What happens next?
We fall.
We fall. Go sliding on the oncoming side of the road underneath the bus. Why? Why would you tell him to lean with you when you don't always lean? So what could you tell him? But other than that, there's a lot of things we need to do before that. But right, so let's go for the start of it. Do you remember whose responsibility is it to make sure he's safe?
Me.
Right, so what's he wearing first?
Oh, gears. He needs to wear the
That's the
appropriate
first
gear.
thing you want to start with. Why? As an examiner, puts me in good stead that you're going to make sure that any passenger on your vehicle is dressed suitably to ride a motorcycle. So legally, they have to wear a helmet. Me, I will insist on a motorcycle jacket with armour and motorcycle gloves. Sturdy jeans with no rips or tears, and sturdy, solid footwear above the ankle. No trainers, no flip-flops or stupid things like that. Yeah, minimum. Otherwise,
unless you're in India.
Nah, even though I don't ride like an idiot. You will never see me on a bike in anything other than motorcycle gear. Never. Why? I'll tell you honestly, my shop, mate, is 5 minutes down the road. Takes me 15 minutes to get dressed. Just to go to the shop to get milk in the morning. The one time you don't wear it, that's the time someone's going to knock you off your bike. Trust me, it's called sod's law. No, wait, bro, all I say to people go to me, yeah, but it's not a legal requirement. I fucking hate that excuse.
Yeah.
But as a motorcyclist, one, it fucking should be. Excuse my French, this is how much it pisses me off. Everyone goes, yeah, but it's not a legal requirement. Or the other one is, I ride the scooter. All right, so the scooter's going to treat us differently. The tarmac's going to say, you're on a scooter, come and give me a hug. But because I'm on an R1, it's going to rip me to pieces. No, but we go rolling down the same road. If we're doing 40 mile an hour, it don't matter whether you're on a scooter, an R1, a Fireblade, mate. You go rolling down the same road and you're going to get the same injuries.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the size of the bike you're on. It's the same road you go rolling down. Right, this legal requirement crap people come out with. Have you jumped out of an aeroplane, Giver? Ever done any parachuting? Ever done any parachute jump?
No.
Right, trust me when I tell you this. There's not a guy waiting at the door with a shirt and a tie and a suit going, legal requirement, have you got your parachute, Donna? If you want to jump out of that plane without that parachute, good luck with that. Tell me how it works out for you. It's not a legal requirement. All I'll say is it ain't going to end well. Same with a bike. It might not be a legal requirement, but I promise you two things. If you come off of that bike without proper equipment, one, you're going to visit a lovely place. It's called the hospital. Two, it's going to fucking hurt. You can really hurt yourself. Wear the protective equipment for what you're doing, man. It's uncommon sense. Right, so first thing first, he wants to know, it's your responsibility, I'm going to make sure they're in full gear. Right, then can they get on and off that bike until you tell them? What happens if you ain't got both feet down and you're not holding the front brake and they try to get on and off? Way! Yeah, so you've got to make sure you're nice and secure. They don't get on and off that bike until you tell them. Which side of the bike do we get on from? You've got to treat them like they're dummies. Can they get on out in the road from the right-hand side?
No.
Or where's the bike leaning to? Where's the safest place to get on the bike? From the left-hand side. Right. If you've ever carried a passenger for, which peg are they going to go for first? No. They go for the rider's peg. Right, watch this.
Rider's peg?
All right, trust me when I tell you this. In fact, let's do it, yeah? So I'm holding the front brake. I've got both feet down. Jump onto that one and try and get on the bike for me. And watch the way this bike moves.
I know. I know.
I want you to feel it for yourself so you know. Look at this. Yeah, right, you feel it?
Yeah.
Right, now go to that peg and do it. And see how much easier it is for you and for me.
Oh.
Look at that.
I don't know how that's gonna work.
Yeah, no, just put your left foot on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and just use my shoulder. Yeah, you can.
Oh.
So you
Okay.
find that easier?
Awkward, but yeah.
Yeah. It stops the bike pulling over so much. You always
Yeah.
go from the rider's peg first and then put their peg onto their foot pegs.
Yeah.
Right, they sit on the bike facing forwards. I know that sounds funny, but treat them like they're stupid. Feet on the foot pegs, that's a legal requirement. If they're good looking, they can hold on to us. If they're ugly, it's the grab rails. Right, the old bike, oh, no, I'm terrible. The old bikes, it was just a flat seat on the back.
Yeah.
So when the passenger sat behind you, all they're looking at is the back of your helmet.
Yeah.
So they kept bloody doing this to see.
Yeah.
The problem with them doing that is every time they did that, you started going, well, hey, over there. And then when they went, hey, you went, hey. So tell them, don't look over my shoulder. It will adjust the bike and affect the balance. Don't gesture to other vehicles. They're not allowed to give it bon vivant. Yeah, like, they're not allowed to gesture to other vehicles. And this is the most important thing. This is where you went wrong. What I say to them is this, and this is the most important thing to tell your passengers. This bike has to lean to turn. It has to. The more it leans, the tighter it turns. It's not this that turns the bike, it's the lean angle. All right, now sometimes we lean with it, sometimes we don't. You don't need to worry about that. You just keep your shoulders in line with mine. When I lean, you must lean with me. When I don't lean, don't. But let this bike move underneath you. Do not fight it. If you do, it will affect the handling and can possibly cause an accident. Make sure you tell them that. Why? Unfortunately, guys, the first time people take a passenger, sometimes they get into an accident because they don't tell them that. All I'll say to you is, don't think all guys know how to ride a bike. You might get your passenger on the back, you go around the bend like this, he goes, I don't like this, a left bend, and you're leaning like that, and he goes like that. What happens next? You go like that, straight into oncoming traffic, head-on accident. It's normally a fatal accident. Tell your guys, this bike has to lean to turn. Sometimes we lean with it, sometimes we don't. You don't need to worry about that. Just keep your shoulders in line with mine. When I lean, you must lean with me. When I don't, don't. But let this bike move underneath you. Don't fight. That's the most important thing. Any questions about the questions?
No.
Happy days. Have you guys got any questions about anything before I go through roundabouts? Because now's the time. Oh, well, I say to everyone, Gigger, there's no such thing as a stupid question with me, mate. Anything to do with bikes, bike equipment, get your bloody money's worth. You paid for me. Far away. Yeah? Right.
Ready?
Just make sure your mirrors are set up, everything's set up and sorted and everything for yourself. Front doing.
Hi guys, it's early in the morning. I'm trying to put some lights on here. It's not gonna work. Okay, it's early in the morning. It's about like 6:15. I am now, sorry it's so dark. I am now here to do my test. This is test day, guys. Sorry I didn't do an intro yesterday. I was very in a hurry. I was in a rush. I was getting late. So yeah, I am now doing my test and wish me luck. And so exciting. I'll see you by the end of this one and let you know what I got. Hi guys, so it's officially done now. It is now currently 12 o'clock and I have passed. I have actually passed the test, so I am so excited. It was, to be fair, I was quite chilled because it is Uxbridge and I know the place quite well. Apart from when he took me to some like these random ass country ass roads and I was just like, this is not where I thought he would get me, but hey, I was there. And to be honest, I was just riding like I was having fun. I did not stress, like not one bit stressed out. The guy was very nice, so I think that helped me a lot because the guy was actually very nice when I spoke to him the first time, and he had a kind voice. I didn't see his face, but he had a kind voice because he was wearing mask, you know, procedure and all that. And so yeah, and then I was like, okay, he seems nice. When I was riding, it just felt like I had my dad behind me, you know what I mean? Like my dad was literally behind me driving. But other than that, it was a cool experience. I was chilled. I was quite surprised the fact I'm chilling, like considering I'm such a nervous wreck all the time. But yes, the good thing is I have finally passed. Whoop, whoop. That's out the way and I can finally start riding my big bike. I am gonna throw away my L plates. You will see it in this video. So yes. Thank you so much guys for joining me in this journey. It was officially it's official, not it's officially. It's official, but I want to say thank you so much for joining me. And I hope this also helps you. I'm sorry some of the videos have been cut out, but I will be giving little voice notes from wherever it's cut out, or I'll do another video from there. But yes, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Ciao, and good luck, guys. Hi guys, okay, so it is finally here, is now to get rid of the L plates. I'm gonna take it off my beautiful bike. So this is the moment where
she's stuck and she cannot how to take the number plate off. Am I right, darling?
Yeah. Jacuzzi! I need the spanner!
Okay, we're gonna see you guys in a short moment.
What you want? I want as well. What you doing?
The moment we've all been waiting for. Oh, I need
You struggling?
This is the not flat.
a flat one.
Okay, we're gonna see each other. So we are here.
We are back. We unscrewed everything. This ugly elf is coming off. It's off. I'm gonna clean that later. But yes, she's not legal. But sadly, I will not be using this bike anymore. So my little Egla is up for sale and I will be sending her off. Thank you so much guys for tuning in on this and coming to my journey for how I did the full big license. And I hope you guys enjoyed this and hopefully it encouraged you guys out there to do this too. Do it safe, do it legal, and ride safely guys. Bye.